And we're live, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for accommodating this special council meeting on Monday, July 7th, 2025, 4:30 p.m. I'll now call the meeting to order, and we'll turn it to our Deputy Clerk for our land acknowledgement, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Snell. The town of Wasaga Beach acknowledges it is located upon the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe people of the Three Fires Confederacy. We also acknowledge that the people of the Wyandot Nation also inhabited these lands. We acknowledge that these nations were sovereign nations existing before the arrival of settlers. We respect the spiritual interconnection among these nations to the land and to the water. We also acknowledge that the waterways near us have a long history predating European arrival. Since time immemorial, waterways were the lifeblood of the indigenous people by trade and hunting routes. We are dedicated to inclusivity of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people in our future stewardship of the land and the longest freshwater beach in the world. In the spirit of reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity of learning to be sustainable caretakers of the land and waterways for all future generations.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. I would just like to acknowledge at this point that both Mayor Smith and Councillor DeLeo have sent their regrets for the meeting. Number 2, disclosure of pecuniary interest. I have none before me, but if any should arise, please let me know. Number 3, approval of the agenda. Recommended motion that the contents of the special meeting agenda for July 7th, 2025 be approved as circulated. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Ego, Councillor Timms. All those in favor? And that carries. Number 4 is presentations. There are none. 5, deputations. There are none. Number 6 is staff reports. 6.1, Destination Wasaga Summer 2025 Activation Plan 2025070719. At this time, I'll pass the floor to Andrew to speak to this report, please.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor and members of Council. This is what we believe is a good news story here, and it should be a fairly quick meeting. But we're excited to share with Council that we have been awarded almost $400,000 from Regional Tourism Organization 7, which is an arm of the province. This is something that staff applied for some funding from RTO 7, and we were thrilled to receive fairly recently that we had been awarded this money. The reason for reaching out and requesting the funding was to help short term as the town is engaged in construction down at our main end. We know it's critically important that we do things to improve the visitor experience during this time of transition. So I'm going to be turning it over fairly shortly to Sandra, Director of Communications and Intergovernmental Relations, to walk you through the key things that we received funding for. But I just wanted to emphasize this is another example of the tremendous relationship that we currently have with the province of Ontario and all of the ministries and all of the branches of the province that are really invested in ensuring that Destination Wasaga is successful. So they're here to help in the short term, medium term, and long term. And with that, why don't I turn it over to Sandra to walk you through the details of what the award actually entails. Over to you, Sandra.
Thanks so much, Andrew. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about all the fun things that this money is going to help us do, but also really important things that we're going to do to help promote local businesses and experiences in our community right now. So marketing and communications are a really important part of how we intend to double tourism in Wasaga Beach by 2030. This is a target that we've been throwing around at the staff level right now. And it's, I want to start by first saying that already we are active. So we are doing a lot of outreach, a lot of communications already. We're investing over $50,000 in digital marketing and different initiatives to really put not only promote Wasaga Beach as an excellent summer vacation destination this summer, but importantly, more than almost half of that $50,000 that we're currently spending has been leveraged with the Ontario government. So we're always very conscious not to spend full taxpayer dollars, always looking to turn 50 cents into a dollar to look to other levels of government to match what we're trying to do. And so today's news is a really exciting example of that. So if you could go to the next slide. So, as Andrew said, almost $400,000, so $398 is what we have been awarded, and we basically asked for 5 different kinds of things. So first we asked to be able to do more. So we're doing a lot already, but we know that right now Beach Drive, the beachfront looks different. We know that we have a communications challenge. We want to make sure that everybody knows that Wasaga Beach is open for business. We're ready for a summer of fun, and we have tons of businesses that are ready to welcome visitors. We have tons of special events that are happening this summer, and we want to make sure that traffic is high, remains high this season. So media marketing and advertising was one of our asks. We also asked for funding to support the purchase of a barber rake for the beachfront. And of course, now that we are the owners, ownership of Allenwood Beach has been confirmed. Maintenance, beach maintenance, and the visitor experience is something that we feel is very important. And so that was one of the capital requests that we submitted, and it was approved. We also asked for an experiential marketing and tourism information booth, a portable tourism information booth that we could use at summer events, at events all year round actually, where we could distribute tourism collaterals. And we did highlight for the ministry that currently we do not have a Town of Wasaga Beach Tourism Information Center. So that was also on our list of priorities, and that was approved. We also asked for portable washroom trailers. So these items, obviously, the experience at the beachfront is important. As council knows, we did have to remove some of the washrooms. There still are washrooms, obviously. You can still go to the Spruce Street washrooms. There are still the Beach Area 2 washrooms through Ontario Parks. But of course, we felt that to make the experience a better one for visitors and residents, that portable washroom trailers would be very beneficial to have near special events and the beachfront. And finally, we also asked for funding support for wayfinding and promotional hoarding along Beach Drive. Next slide, please. So the way we are going to spend this support from RTO7 is to supplement our summer campaign. So we are going to set up an always-on destination marketing campaign. Right now, we sort of do one-offs. We're going to get more strategic. We're going to have an always-on campaign. The message may change, but we will always be in market from now on, beginning this summer. We'll continue to do blog posts and social media that we already are doing, having more influencers come into our community. We will be designing different kinds of itineraries. If you have a full day or a day, you're planning a day trip or wondering what you can do with your friends or family, here are some examples of how your day could be. We will actively promote local businesses in that content. Our goal is basically billboards. So we already have had a billboard running on the Gardner Expressway in the GTA, and we do have billboards throughout our community. This will allow us to do more of that and to reach a wider audience. And of course, earned media. This is what our focus has traditionally been, because it's often the most cost effective. But earned media, we will look at doing more regional and province-wide news releases. There's a cost associated with that, and so RTO7 is going to help us get our news out to a much larger audience in terms of what's happening and really spreading that message that Wasaga Beach is open for business, lots of fun things happening, and this is the place to be. The total ask for this media marketing and advertising buy is $65,000. Next slide, please. Thank you. As I mentioned, the Barber Beach Rake, this is a movable capital item. Obviously, this is very important. Again, it will not only help us to keep the beach in fantastic condition, but will also turn it into somewhat of a mascot. So, branding, wrapping that tractor, wrapping the rake, and making sure that we're creating content, putting it out on social, showing people that we're taking care of this incredible asset and keeping the beach tidy and clean, and that basically sending messages in the morning throughout the season to say, good morning, and the beach is open for business and we can't wait to welcome you. Next slide, please. I didn't mention the amount there, but of course you can see it was $101,000 approximately that we asked for that purchase for the rake. And of course, so we also asked for, as I mentioned, this mobile tourism information booth. We envision it being a place where we can tell the story of the beach, but not only the past, also what's coming, so what to expect the future. We expect that this container will have a wonderful storyboard on the back wall, that it will have a merch rack, that it will have a screen for us to be able to play multimedia content, and so that could be content that we're creating for social media. It could be some of the content that influencers are generating in terms of what to do and all the wonderful things to see in Wasaga Beach. So lots of flexibility there and very fun. So we put a picture here of a concept that we're looking at, so in terms of what we envision it. As you can see, that there will be a rooftop patio, and so we envision that that would be a fantastic way to get council involved at events. It could be like a VIP area, just lots of fun options and flexibility here. But again, first and foremost, a wonderful place for our tourism ambassadors to promote all the great things and to distribute some of our collaterals that we work so hard on. Being that it's portable, of course, we can take it outside of our community as well if there's ever an opportunity to do that. The ask on that was $120,000, and that was approved. And of course, that includes money to do a launch event. Our plan is to have this ready before Memories of Summer and positioned at the beachfront to do a launch event and to invite council and dignitaries to come and join us in the celebration when we launch this, this new asset. Next slide, please. No toilets near festivals and events, no fun. So obviously, no, we're trying. We do have porta potties down at the beachfront right now. We understand that that's not the best experience. We are trying to do better, looking for ways to do that. And we think that these trailers are going to be another way to help make the experience better right now, this summer and next summer. So the ask was $72,000. It was approved, and again, that will cover the rentals of these trailers for this summer as well as next summer. Just to go on a little bit more, just to say again, we expect that these will be situated down near the beachfront, near the beach area, one fun zone, near Playland parking lot, and that they will stay there until construction is complete. Next slide, please. And finally, we did ask for funding. The hoarding, as you know, along Beach Drive is already underway. So construction has already started in terms of getting the hoarding up along Beach Drive. This is about a 500-meter opportunity, communications opportunity, marketing opportunity. So we are going to pursue that, and we see it as an opportunity not only to talk about what's coming, so what is this the future home of and what it might look like, but of course to talk about programming next summer, and if we are able to get it up this summer, it's getting a bit late in the season, but we will obviously include wayfinding and information about Memories of Summer and other things that are happening in the summer. But also, because it will be up for about 2 years, we just see it as a fantastic opportunity to visually show people what's coming. And that concludes our presentation. Are there any questions?
And actually, I'll just add a couple other comments. So the criteria was very specific about what we were eligible to apply for. So it had to be obviously tourism related, but movable capital, you were not allowed to request dollars for permanent facilities. So that's why we were very specific in what we actually applied for with. And additionally, the timeline is very tight, hence the reason for the council meeting today. So we are requested to enter into a memorandum of understanding with RTO7 immediately. We are required to spend this money prior to September, so we need to move fairly quickly, and that's the reason, again, for this meeting. We're hoping for direction to proceed, to enter into the MOU, and to begin the acquisition of all of this collateral. Again, we think are things that are going to contribute positively to the user experience during this time of transition. And again, we just want to genuinely thank RTO7 for all of their support and all the support from the province. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, we'll start with Councillor White, then Councillor Timms, then Councillor Ego.
Thank you very much. Great presentation, and what a great success story for getting that money from our TO7. Two questions. Access to the sandbar. Because of the construction right now, you have to go around and enter through the back of their building, I suppose. And the comments are that if you want to access those shops or that place, you can't get it from the beachfront. I'm asking if there's a way that we can reinstate a little bit of the old sidewalk there, allow people to walk down that stretch. That's one question. And the other is to do with the tractor and the rake. Is the tractor something that we already own, or is that part of the 101,000?
Well, I'll take those. So with respect to the rake, we already own a tractor. It's just what we're dragging behind the tractor that we were looking to upgrade. Currently, we have very long prongs that dig really deep into the sand. So the barber rake, or an equivalent to the barber rake, is what most great beach towns around the world are using today. It doesn't dig as deep, and it gets fine elements out of the sand. So cigarette butts, that type of stuff that you'll find in a beach. This will sift all that stuff out. So it really helps elevate the beach experience, but it's just the pole behind, it's not the tractor itself. We already have the tractor. With respect to the sandbar, we will be providing access to the bar from the beachfront. So I'll have a discussion with staff and the team that's out there to make sure that that's maintained.
Go ahead, Councillor White. Did you have one more question, or are you complete?
Oh, that's it for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate your responses.
Thank you very much. We'll go on to Councillor Timms, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to senior staff and everybody who worked on that ask to RTO7. That's really exciting. And I fully support all the efforts outlined in the plan. I think it's wonderful about the trailers. I know we were disappointed on the delivery date for the fancy washroom not coming this season, so that's a good replacement for us. And I think that these kind of investments speak to a really welcoming, inclusive visitor experience, especially when we add in the accessible washrooms as well. I love the kiosk, but I do have some concerns regarding it. While I support the potential, I think it's really unfortunate that we can't activate it until Memories of Summer, which is pretty much at the end of our season. Andrew, can you confirm what the delivery date is? And the second thing I wanted to ask about that is, when do our summer ambassadors finish their seasonal employment if they're the ones who are going to be working at that kiosk on the beachfront?
So I'll have to confirm the contract with the beachfront ambassadors. I believe it would be after Labor Day, but I'll have to confirm that for council. With respect to a delivery date, I think Sandra, you've been communicating with the organization. I don't know if you have a date that they've conveyed to you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, keeping in mind that now if we receive council approval today, then we'll go ahead and we'll start the project. But this is a custom job. It's a container that's going to be customized. It needs to be painted and branded. Everything needs to be built in such a way that it's going to serve the town of Wasaga Beach for the long term. So while we may not be able to deliver it before Memories of Summer, we're aiming for the Tuesday for that final farmers market before Memories of Summer, I believe. But I mean, this is a large project. It's a construction project in and of itself, a design project. So there is a time that needs to happen. This thing needs to actually get built. So if you think of it also as a long-term investment, this is not something that's only going to serve us for a weekend this summer. It's something that we're going to own. This is our mobile tourism information booth. So this is something that's going to serve us all year round for years to come.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, follow up, Councillor Timms.
Thank you, and I am very excited about it. I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. This is exactly what we were talking about doing back in 2019, trying to figure out how to do it, repurpose an old van. You couldn't ask for anything that's more appropriate than something that I assume gets trailered around and moved from place to place. I do have a broader concern, and I know that you're addressing it. I am hearing constantly from our business community that this season is shaping up to be a really challenging one. And, we know we've had poor weather to get started, but the negative narrative about the beachfront, most of it circulating from within our own community is really disturbing. And that kind of messaging is undermining our confidence and hurting our local businesses. So I really support this well thought out marketing plan and activation strategy. In my past experience with big digs, it's really crucial to amplify the positive, and we need to be loud and clear. Wasaga Beach is open for business, and it's up to all of us to help shape that message. So, thank you for this program. It looks like you're hitting all the key points, and I know it's in addition to what was already planned. So, it's going to work. Thank you.
Debbie, can I add a couple comments to that?
Yes, please go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, and Councillor Timms, I 100% agree with everything you just said. I just wanted to talk about some of the things that we're hearing from local businesses as well. I've been very deliberate on the weekends, during the week, driving around town, driving down to the beachfront, walking along the beachfront, just to see the crowds that are out there. I can tell you this past weekend, the beachfront was packed. And that's in the middle of a construction zone. It was packed, wall-to-wall people. Allenwood Beach was wall-to-wall people. So people are still coming to this community. They are still visiting businesses. They are still spending money. To those businesses that may be hurting and that are not seeing the foot traffic they have experienced in the past, our job is to bring people to the community. Their job is to get them through the front door. And if they're not coming through your front door, it might be a time to step back and ask yourself why. Is it the product you're offering? Is that not appealing to the customer that's coming here? Is there something that could be done to improve the appearance, the product quality, etc.? We are competing with other resort communities. I was over at the Village of Blue on yesterday evening, and it was packed as well. So the tourists are in this region. It's a discriminating dollar today, meaning I think people are watching every penny. So if you want people coming through your door and spending dollars in your business, you better be delivering a high quality experience and a high quality product, because that's what people are looking for. So again, our job is to bring people here, which we are trying to do. All of this money that RTO7 has given us will help spread the word, but the onus does also fall on the business as well. So that's all I'll say for now.
Thank you, Andrew. I couldn't agree more. Councillor Timms, are you all finished? Okay. Councillor Eagle then, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, everyone. This is an exciting report, and I'm just going to go all over the place here, and I'm going to start with the crowds. And I would say this town is open for business at the beaches for sure. Ellenwood has been jam-packed, and over 90% of it has been fabulous. I'm getting compliments all the time on the shape of the beach, the garbage cans on the beach. Whoever came up with that one is fabulous, having those cans right on the beach. And yeah, we're having lots of crowds, I think, beach goers. On the open for business part, I was at an establishment down in Acton area, Acton, Georgetown. So I guess I'm looking at the marketing to that area to get the word out there. Some people I met seemed to think we weren't open for business. We directed them to social media. So I guess when we target our advertising, is there any way, like I know we often target Peel and Wasaga and Acton, if we can target those areas that are our high users, however they access, whether it's newsprint, whether it's an online, a business down there, whatever, I think that's a good area to go after because they're the ones that drive here within an hour and a half, an hour. So that was that. And the mobile tourism, yes, that's incredibly exciting. And I know it won't happen now, but are we planning to sell our merch, like our T-shirts that I get asked about every time I wear one? Where can they buy them? So that's my question.
Who wants to
So,
take it? Andrew?
I'll take the first one, and then Sandra, I'll let you take the merch. With respect to targeting, what we tend to do, and Sandra mentioned this in her presentation, we try and leverage dollar for dollar, meaning if we invest 50 cents, we're looking for somebody else to cover the additional 50 cents. So we work very closely with County of Simcoe Tourism. We work very closely with Ministry of Ontario Tourism, Destination Ontario, Destination Canada, etc. And every year, all of those organizations decide where they want to be targeting. For many years, almost many decades, we have targeted Quebec, areas around Montreal, southwestern Ontario, not so much in the US this year, but in the past we have targeted north, Pennsylvania, New York State, etc. So we tend to follow what the province and the other levels of government are doing, and that's no different this year. So again, Quebec, southwestern Ontario, but there's nothing to stop us from adding and doing some additional things for other areas. But again, that's typically how we figure out where we're going to target.
Go ahead, Sandra, with the second question on merch.
Thank you so much. And just a short answer, because we will be coming to council in the not too distant future to provide an update on this particular subject. So short answer, Councillor Ego, is yes. Absolutely, there's a massive opportunity there, and it's one we're already exploring for the launch of our new website as well. So we will bring an update to council on that particular topic very soon.
Before any further follow-up, Councillor Ego, I'll go to Deputy Jerry Marshall, please.
Yeah, thank you to the chair, to I guess Councillor Timms and to Councillor Eagle. And the other thing with getting people into the business doors is our comms team, Sanders team, as well as Caitlin, will be reaching out to our businesses to assist them in getting their name out through Destination Ontario. If there's a portal that they can go into, they can sign up. We'll assign one of our beachfront ambassadors to actually help anybody that needs some assistance to get that marketing out there as well. So, they attach their name not only to their business, not only to the town, but also to the province of Ontario. So, so we're trying to be as creative as we can. We see these opportunities come up, and I think it was Sandra and Caitlin caught one on the weekend. We had a quick conversation on a Saturday morning, and they're pulling the trigger. So, staff are always looking for the avenues, on-ramps to get our businesses out there, their names out there, and attach themselves to all the wonderful things happening.
Thank you, Jerry. Is there any further follow-up, Councillor Eagle?
So I'll say thank you. Answered my questions, and it's incredibly exciting. So thank you for the answers there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Blanchet?
Yeah, thank you, through the chair. A number of things is with the mobile tourism information booth, will there be a PA system on that I know in a lot of areas you can create a lot of excitement in an area of the beach. There could be vendors in the area of the beach or in the area of Main Street that might want to offer promotional, just promotions to the people that are visiting the beach, whether they could pick up a coupon at the trailer or those types of things. But even just sometimes you can get an MC or somebody that is also vocalizing some of the things and events that can be happening around town. We might be able to find someone that's a decent volunteer that can create excitement that way. So something to consider. With the mobile washrooms, we have to consider they're smaller than the washrooms that have been temporarily no longer in use, and the cleaning schedule. I still believe that even with the enhanced budget that we did for cleaning, our washrooms have not been clean enough to meet the expectation of our visitors. And I would like to make sure we make the investment that someone isn't very turned off when they walk into one of these washrooms. I know that you can't have somebody there constantly, but like in any fine restaurant or anything else, or being checked every 15 or 20 minutes. To Councillor Tim's comments about some of the local bad presses, we do have some active saboteurs in our community that do not want to see Wasaga Beach succeed under this council, anyhow. And I think if there's some way that we can measure, whether it be the beach camera, whether it be drone coverage, whether it be video clips of some of our establishments during different times of day or whatever, so that we are sending that message that the people are here. If they're not in your establishment, you need to be looking at what you're doing. I think some of that can be done very inexpensively. And then the final big question I have, and we talked about this a lot, and now it's gone into limbo, is the activation of the Main Street parking lot. We're now into July. Council was told that we were going to activate that parking lot this year. And I think everyone agree there isn't a tremendous number of venues available. Like I can tell you that I'm hearing that Skull Island is doing well, even with the weather the way it's been. They're very busy, and they're one of the activities that is available to people. But I thought we would have already had quite a bit of activity around that Main Street parking lot. So if anybody can comment on that.
Okay, lots to unpack there. Did you want to start with that, Andrew?
Yeah, for sure. Well, why don't I start with Main Street parking lot? My apologies, Councillor Belanger. I thought we had conveyed earlier to Council that for this summer, again, rewind the clock a few months, we weren't sure if Sunray was going to be under construction or not in the Playland parking lot area. We confirmed early spring that we would have the ability to use Playland for this summer. So we shifted, and again, it was very fluid, but we shifted our focus back to Playland for the summer of 2025. That's why we've installed food trucks that line the old Main Street right-of-way. We've put washrooms in Playland, and we will be activating. We did on Canada Day. We had a stage set up. There was some entertainment. We will be bringing in the amusement rides like Wasaga Beach does every year. They will be in Playland parking lot. So that is our focus for 2025, is to use Playland and not to shift the focus over to Main Street. Main Street was the fallback if we weren't able to use that area on the beachfront. 2026, we may need to look at something different if Sunray is under construction, which I assume they will be. But that's where we are currently. Our focus is still to use Playland. With respect to cleaning, I agree wholeheartedly. One of the number one issues that I've heard for years about Wasaga Beach is your washrooms are not clean enough. So we're going to do everything we can. We'll talk to the current contractor about improving cleaning schedules. Obviously, it costs money. The more you clean, the more it costs. So we're trying to be frugal while at the same time deliver a great experience. So, but we'll take that back and ensure that when the trailers come online, that they are kept as clean as possible. And Sandra, I don't know if you want to talk about the PA system. I would assume that there would be outdoor speakers associated with, but maybe you want to comment on that.
Sure, yeah. So we really haven't, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're not out of the gate yet. We need a council approval really to get started. But I can tell you that it is our intention to have a PA system and to blast the official playlist of summer whenever we're set up. And that again would supplement and complement that rooftop patio so that we could throw swag from the rooftop and, announce things and have a nice VIP area and have fun with that. So absolutely a PA system is something that we've asked to be included. like a music system as well, like speakers.
Thank you, Sandra. Go ahead, follow up, Councillor
Yeah,
Blanchard.
well, just my follow-up is related to the bathroom cleaning is, although it's easy to measure the cost of the additional cleaning, every time we have a guest that's turned off by a washroom, there's a cost attached to that. And I believe in the end, that cost is more expensive than the cost of making sure that we meet visitation expectation and our own residents, of course. The other thing is, I can tell you that the parking activity on the Main Street parking lot has been extremely low so far this year. And if there is a quick hit kind of way to do any kind of activation there, even if it's just on weekend or one day on a weekend, but just an activity, especially a family activity. I know that we did have the boards there and roller skating and things like that. But again, at the same time, a number of businesses have talked to me, but I also indicated to those businesses, so you know, is that, you know, a lot have changed in the fact that we now have received a lot of support from the province, and there's a lot of planning that is going on, and that takes staff resource. So I certainly understand that our capacity is limited as well. But thank you. Those are my comments.
Any follow up to that, Andrew or Sandra, to Councillor Blanchard's final points there?
No, I would agree with Councillor Belanger. Clean bathrooms, like when you walk into a restaurant, if the bathrooms aren't clean, you don't go back. So I agree wholeheartedly. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, great. Councillor Ego, do you have your hand up? Go ahead.
Thank you. Hadn't planned on getting on the washroom, but since it's being discussed, and I had a discussion with people as well that travel a lot, they don't seem to have an issue paying to pee, is what they were saying. They'll pay $1 or $2 to use a clean washroom. So I don't know if staff have ever looked at that going down the line, if it's possible, but they all agreed they would pay they do pay for washrooms. So just wanted it out there.
That is something we could look at. I know City of Toronto does have pay bathrooms in some of their park areas. They're also bringing in the free ones that we've ordered. So, but again, we can take a look at that.
Thank you, Andrew. Just to add some final points, if there's no further comments or questions from council. Seeing none, just a question, how many of those portable washrooms will be included? The infograph had 2 units that look like there's 2 units in each. How many in total would we be getting, Sandra?
So I was the one that reached out to the company. There's 2. There's a large and a small. I believe the large had 8 or 10 stalls in it. And then the smaller one is, again, they come in various sizes. So some of this is going to depend on, assuming council approves this today, I'll get on the phone immediately and see what they still have available. So they have 3 different sizes. There's a large, a medium, and a small. So we'll likely get 1 large, 1 small. So again, I can't remember, I believe it's 8 or 10 in the large, and then there's 4 in the smaller.
Okay, great. That's awesome. And I saw those when I was at the beach in Florida that had been taken out with hurricanes and stuff, and they had 2 large units there, and it was fantastic. Flush toilets and very, very clean. So definitely very serviceable. The marketing opportunities are incredible. One question I had, does all the digital pieces that you spoke about at first, Sandra, in your first slide, are those going to be delivered through a third-party vendor, or is this expected of your staff? Because you have a very small team, you know, and so I'm respecting that there's a lot of communications in all departments going out, so we don't want to see any other stuff backing up. Can you sort of explain how execution might be?
Absolutely. So we actually plan to execute internally and through a third party. So we already have third party relationships that we already use and are using right now. We're basically just going to increase our buy with those external providers. And so, for example, with influencers, we've had one come to town. We're just going to reach back out, increase that buy, and then have more influencers come to town. We've already curated various blog posts and to have those placed. Now we'll be able to take either repurpose that content or create new content that then features different local businesses. We're going to really try to feature as many local businesses and experiences, starting with Beach Area 1. That's where our focus is, the businesses that are currently being impacted the most. And then go out from there, like a sort of, imagine a ring around it as we go out. And so that will allow us now, instead of say, like, for example, 2 blog posts, sponsored posts, we'll be able to do maybe up to 7 or 8, for example. So working with the third-party suppliers. The other thing is, though, is that we do have our own ad accounts. We do spend money, and we do actually promote our own digital media content, and it's much more cost-effective as well, and it allows us to pivot quicker. So when we work with external providers, the lead time is 3 weeks. So if we get council approval today and we start today, tomorrow, we'll work with those third-party suppliers, but we'll see a 3 to 4 week turnaround. In the meantime, what we'll do is we'll take some content in-house. And so, for example, drone footage, we have our own templates that we have created in-house, getting ready for this moment, that looks like and feels like a blog or like a third-party type post. We'll take that content, whether it's promoting local events, experiences down at the beachfront or in the community, and we'll start boosting that out and running those ads ourselves. So it's just faster. We can get it into market quicker. It's also a bit cheaper, but we'll do both.
Okay, excellent. I think this is such a huge, incredible win for Wasaga Beach, you know, and it clearly shows how hard the senior staff have worked to build the relationships with the province and to really share the vision and possibilities within the community. Before I finish, Councillor Belanger, do you have your hand up?
Yes, I just have one comment. Sandra, on a few occasions, had said that something's coming back to council. In reading the report, and I am willing to approve that within the budgets that are outlined in the report, that we give the CAO the ability to move quickly and not have to come back to council again, as long as they're staying within those budgets that are outlined. I just don't want to slow anything down. We're already July 7th, so I think we have to move quickly, and we can't afford to lose a week or 2 weeks along the way. So I would like to delegate the authority to the CAO. I think he's up to 50,000 anyhow. So I think other than the rake and the booth, most of all of the spends fall into that amount anyhow. But for the booth, if they can move forward and stay within the budget, we should just go ahead, in my opinion.
And if I could, to Councillor Belanger, that's actually one of the requests in the report, is that you do delegate that authority, and as long as we stay within the budget that's been agreed to with RTO 7, that we would have the ability to just move and not have to come back to council. I do think that will be important. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time and we're not going to be able to spend the money. When you have other people's money to spend, you should spend it.
Again, that was my understanding, but Sandra had mentioned a couple times about coming back, so I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
To clarify, go ahead, Sandra.
Hi, thank you so much. Just to clarify, coming back to council was specific to the question about selling merch. So we will come back with plans about selling merchandise to council at a later date.
Thank you for that clarification, Sandra. One question I had, just for consideration, perhaps to our CFO, would it be possible to pivot some of the revenue that comes from parking from the Playland parking lot specifically? Should our ambassadors be assigned to maybe be monitoring the washrooms a little bit to see if they're being kept to a standard that we would like to see, if additional dollars needed to be put into that? Is that something that would be possible for this year? Not sure if that's Andrew or Jocelyn.
Thank you. I just needed to find my mic button. Yes, if council did wish to do that, you could. However, there is a staff report coming forward on the 17th of July that is addressing an increased beach operations budget. And in that amount, some was sort of estimated, anticipating some additional washroom cleaning that would be needed. So you may want to wait and see that staff report on July 17th, and then should you wish to give us better or different direction at that time, we could take that direction with that staff report.
Okay, great. Glad to hear that's coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
My only final comments, if there's no other further comments or questions, is sort of to the point that Councillor Timms brought up, and as well as Councillor Boulanger, in regards to businesses in the community. You know, the staff, it's absolutely incredible what has been accomplished in such a short amount of time in terms of moving the beach forward. And everything is happening in nano lightning second moments, you know, and while all that growth and all that change and development is happening, the day-to-day operations are still continuing and accelerating. And I think everybody needs to take a deep breath and just pause a little bit, because this locomotive cannot go any faster. It cannot, or it'll go off the rails if that's the case. You know, it needs to be strong and steady and intentional. And so, although we would love to see activation at the Main Street parking lot, we may not simply have capacity for that. And the budget's already set this year. And as the CFO just mentioned, an ask might be coming forward, right? We're only partway through summer. So that's my only point, was just take a deep breath, because everyone is doing such an incredible job. And I really look forward, Sandra, to your team's update in terms of those digital reactions and tracking that traffic. And I really look forward to a fulsome report coming back from the ambassador program in terms of what kind of beach activity they consistently see. How does that marry perhaps with weather? Because that plays a big part too, and sometimes our business community forgets about that. So if there's no further comments or questions, I'll call for a mover and a seconder. Oh, sorry, Sandra, please go ahead.
Oh, you called the vote, and I thought, oh, I should have put my hand down. I just wanted to say, to your point, and it's been raised a few times on this call, and obviously it's something I'm hypersensitive to in my role. But, you know, first of all, I just wanted to reiterate that we do have the Summer Fun Map. It is literally called the Beach Area 1 Summer Fun Map for a reason. It is to promote all of the local vendors and businesses that operate around the construction zone. It is specifically something that we have been pushing out on social media. It's something that we plan to print and to offer to local businesses in the area. And I just would love to say that absolutely, to someone else's point, we know we are all ambassadors. We expect local businesses to be ambassadors of our community as well. I know that our economic development and tourism team is reaching out directly to local businesses as well that are in the affected area, you know, to basically say, here is the map, you're on it. So basically every business that's operating down near Beach Area 1 is on the Summer Fun Map. We are promoting the wonderful things that they're doing and that they, whether it's food or experiences. So just to say that that's that, and weather does obviously play a role. We're not going to go out there, we're not going to correct everyone on social media just because there was a lightning storm, you know, 5 minutes before the picture that they posted to Facebook appeared. But you're right, absolutely. Weather has a big part of it as well. But we're going to do everything that we can. I think that today's this funding that we just received through RTO7 is going to leverage everything we're doing and allow us to do it even better. So just for council to be aware that we are very, very sensitive and doing everything that we can to support businesses that are operating not just around the beachfront, but all across town to make sure everyone knows that we're open for business and ready to welcome people.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sandra. And thank you to everybody for not only the commitment to local businesses, but just in terms of keeping up with all of this great communication. There's so much going on and so much storytelling to happen. And again, a big thank you to the province and to RTO7 for seeing all these possibilities in our community. So with that, then I'll call for a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor White, Councillor Eagle, all those in favor? And the motion, let me read the motion first before we call the vote, if that's okay. Sorry, Madam Clerk. That the report titled Destination Wasaga Summer 2025 Activation Plan to the council meeting of July 7th, 2025 be received. That council authorize the CAO to execute the Memorandum of Understanding MOU between Regional Tourism Organization 7 and the town. That council waive procurement policy requirement for MOU related purchases, and that council delegate authority to the CAO to approve MOU related purchases. All those in favor? And that carries unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to number 7, there is closed session. There's nothing for closed session. There's no closed session to rise and report from. So we move on to number 9, bylaws. Recommend a motion that following bylaws be received and be deemed to have been read a first, second, and a third time and passed. 9.1, 2025-29A, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Wasaga Beach at its special council meeting held Monday, July 7th, 2025. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Belanger, Councillor Timms, all those in favor? And that carries unanimously. Number 10 is adjournment. Happy to announce this meeting is now adjourned at 5:21 p.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you.